Can y'all hear that? The cicadas and the crickets and bullfrogs, I mean, just going nuts tonight. So it's a lot of fun to hear them in the summertime. And I apologize, we've got a floodlight like right here, but I wanted to come outside and talk about this. It seemed to fit kind of what's going on right now. So the Chinese and the Russians made their announcement, right? So y'all probably no doubt heard about this already, that they made their announcement that they are going to be creating a world reserve currency, and it looks like through some basket of currencies. I'm not quite sure. I assume it'll be kind of a digital dollar. It'll basically be an index coin of some sort from all the countries that want to get involved with this. And we heard the Fed the other day basically saying, well, there's been multiple reserve currencies at several points in time in history, and trying to downplay this. It's like, yeah, but not for a long time. And even that, I'd still like to see an example of that, because I'm not sure when that's actually happened. But it doesn't really matter, is that when you have two currencies fighting for something, eventually one becomes the dominant one over time, and it's going to be the stronger one. And the fact of the matter is, we are just not in competition with being the stronger one of these two. When, for one, it's one currency, right? The US dollar versus a basket of currencies. Two, you're talking about a whole part of the world that doesn't want us to have the authority to sanction them anymore. And if it's a basket of currencies, nobody would have the authority, presumably, to provide sanctions unless they all kind of agreed on it. It'd be like a NATO dollar, basically, right? So more powerful than even the European Union, the euro. It would be, it'd be like if NATO said, hey, we're going to have a dollar based on our basket of currencies. Well, then the UN or the US wouldn't be able to provide or apply sanctions just arbitrarily. They'd have to have the entire support of the UN behind it. And that looks like what we're seeing come up in this parallel economy that's starting. And how this is going to affect you? Well, it's going to affect us a lot. And it's not going to affect us a lot, I don't think, tomorrow. I don't think it's even going to initially affect us a lot over the next 2 or 3 years. I think this is going to affect us a lot over the next 50 years. I think just as when we became the world reserve currency by the petrodollar, this is the first step, and this is that kind of Lehman Brothers moment, right, where they've given us the boot and told us that we are no longer the world reserve currency, and they're done playing our games. And really, we flexed our muscles too many times, and that's what caused this. We did too much of the sanctions, trying to control the rest of the world and be the world police force. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing. The issue with it, though, is that we have this subjective morality we were trying to impose on everybody else. Case in point, Russia invades Ukraine, right? And we said that that's wrong. And I'm not getting into the argument of whether that's right or wrong. That's a whole different long discussion. And truthfully, I don't think we have enough knowledge about what's going on over there to really be that educated on it. What it looks like is happening is that Russia's the bad guys, but I'm not necessarily willing to definitively state that, because there's so much propaganda around it. But let's just say, okay, for sake of argument, we've said that they're the bad guys and that they're invading Ukraine. Well, why was that any different than what we have done to other countries when we've invaded? And I got it. We weren't necessarily trying to annex them into our country, and that's where they're saying the difference lies. But when somebody doesn't do something that we don't like and we go and invade, that creates its own set of problems. And bottom line is whether you agree with it, whether you agree that we were right or wrong on any of these things that we have done throughout the course of our tenure as the world superpower, other people got tired of it. And it was only a matter of time before they said, you know what, we're done. We don't want you guys to be the biggest, in the room anymore. And so we're going to change the rules, and we're going to change the game. And they spent a long time planning this. Don't think that this just came to them and that this fell into their lap. They have spent a long time planning this, and I'm talking more than a decade. They have been buying up assets to strengthen their dollars. Honestly, I'd love to trade out some of my money for some of those currencies now, because I think their currencies are going to be a lot stronger than ours. Savings account in a Chinese yen, however you say it, is probably going to be a stronger currency than a savings account in American dollars. So guys, the bottom line is that this is going to hurt us over the long term, because it's going to weaken our dollar for international trade, and it's going to continue to weaken our dollar. And we may even get to the point to where we have to use our dollars to buy whatever this basket of currencies is that the Russians and the Chinese and the BRICS nations are putting together, and that we might have to go exchange and buy that currency and then do an international trade. And basically what we've been forcing other countries to do, but instead of us being at the top and the ones in control of it, it's going to be these BRICS nations in agreement with probably China and Russia having the most power on it. So they're using a better system to do the transfers. Everything about this is better, and so it's just, look at the facts, look at it objectively. If you were going to do international trade, you were going to put money somewhere, would you put it in the U.S. dollar with this no what am I thinking of? There's no accountability. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word accountability. There's no accountability for Congress to print as much as they want to print. There's no accountability because there's no gold standard. There's nothing. And people complain about tax all the time. They say, oh, we need to make our fair share of taxes, and the rich need to pay their fair share of taxes. Congress doesn't really care. That's a political game. They're going to print it to oblivion anyways. They don't give a shit about taxes, y'all. It's all a political game trying to win them points. They're going to print it to death because there's nothing holding them from doing otherwise. They don't care how much inflation goes up. Their salary goes up with inflation. Why would they care? It doesn't matter if inflation hits 1,000%. Their salary will go up in proportion to that. So, in troubled economies, that's where opportunity is, right? Watch Nancy Pelosi right now, right? Watch where her money's going. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about there, go look that up. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that this is going to be a killer over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's not right now that it's going to be the killer. It's not tomorrow, but it is another nail in the coffin for tomorrow. This is just that snowball picking up momentum, picking up more snow, and rolling down that hill. And unfortunately, we are just not in a position to compete. We're too busy trying to do CRT and gender theory and lesbian dance theory and all this stupid crap that's political games, because I don't know, because people want something to fight about, want something to argue about, and so we're busy playing political games. Those guys on the other side of the world, they're playing real games. They're not playing, actually, I shouldn't even say that, they're not playing games anymore. We're playing political games here stateside. They're done playing games. They're fixing their lot in life, their place in this world. And they're making changes. Whether they're right or wrong, whether it's the right way to do it or not, is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they're getting off their ass and they're going to do it. And we're just not. Americans are sorely falling behind. And they have been for a long time. And we killed this when we took us off the gold standard. We killed any semblance of our dollar ever being worth something long term. That's finally come to bite us. But, the truth is, the fact of the matter is, guys, this has been in the making ever since then, but for many different reasons. Because we have a weak constitution in our society right now. We have weak men. We have weak-willed people. And that's really what's stopping us. We want to blame the politicians, and there's so much that we can blame the politicians. But in truth, guys, if we really want to figure out who's at fault, what's that line from V for Vendetta? You want to know who's at fault for this? You need only look into a mirror. We are the ones that caused a lot of this pain, because we elected stupid people. We chose to play political games and stupid crap because we were watching CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, CBC, CBS, whatever. We wanted to get angry at somebody for nothing, and so we have played these games. And now we are finally getting called on it. And I think we're in for a wild ride, guys. I think we're in for a really harsh ride over the next 10 years. Will we pull ourselves out of it? We might. Weak times, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. We've all heard that before. And right now we've got over the last 70 years, we've had a series of weak men creating hard times. And we are going to pay the piper on that. We are about ready to pay the price. And so, whether we're strong enough as a society to pull ourselves through that, and make something better on the other side. Still remains to be seen. But this dollar failing and falling, this is just one more nail in the coffin. Our dollar is done, y'all. It is done as the world reserve currency. If you don't believe that, you're just kidding yourself. It is no longer the world reserve currency. So I'm about ready to go. I'm going to go enjoy a night out with these cicadas and the crickets and everything. I'm enjoying hearing them all alive. The wildlife here, it's a sign of healthy pastures and healthy forests and everything in our area. So I really enjoy seeing it. I will catch y'all tomorrow. I'm sorry we have not had videos out, guys. I told you we got some people in our family that are very sick, and so I told you about my grandfather in one of the last videos, but there's some other things going on that I don't really want to get into on YouTube. But just keep us in your prayers, guys. We got a lot going on right now in our family, and so there's going to be some days where we miss videos because Amanda and I are going to have to kind of hightail it out of here and get to some family situations that we just need to take care of. So we will talk to y'all later. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and we'll see y'all tomorrow at 6:30.